Hello, everyone. Welcome back, all of you, on the last day of 12th board examination. Most of you have. Today was your biology examination, and I believe that those of you who have actually studied NCRT, okay, they have done a wonderful job there. Right, guys? So I believe today we are going to discuss about board paper biology. We'll go through the analysis of the paper, what was that earlier, and how was the overall paper, and then we'll discuss some of the question that was really important, yet tricky, yet difficult, or something like that. Fine. So I believe I need all your ears and focus here, and we shall directly go into our analysis here, right? So, guys, if I'll tell you, the paper was in general, if I'll talk about that, that's slightly above average. Yes, definitely, the paper was good, very good paper. Okay, and as I said it earlier as well, that those who have studied NCRT line by line, they would have seen, like in my last last session, when we talk about the strategy to deal biology. Okay, I talked about that. You have to learn NCRT line by line. You have to remember it. Okay, and I'll give you some of the examples here that the questions are actually from the lines within the books. I'll show you. Okay, right. So let's start our journey here. First of all, so here it is, the difficulty level. Okay, the difficulty level, if I'll talk about most of the paper, like more than 50% or slightly more than 50%, it was an average paper. Yes, why average? Because most of the questions, if I talk about holistically, okay, most of the paper was either from NCRT or previous year, right? If they have asked a question which is not like relating very much to the NCRT, they have somehow twisted with the words. I'll give you the examples where and where. Okay. Difficulty, yes, some question was difficult. Okay. And most of the paper, like almost 32% or 34%, 35%, if in general you will talk about, it was an easy paper, right? So we'll deal one by one. Okay, what are the questions and the answer? Okay, so I'll do it quickly so that you'll have time to ask some of your doubts. So if you'll see here, I'm actually talking about here set 3. Okay, I'm talking about here set 3. Okay, I'll read the question and the solution is actually available here. Okay, so the very first question was, how do cytokine barriers provide innate immunity in humans? NCRT question. Okay, now previous year it was asked that what are the cells which help in innate immunity? If you have seen previous year questions, what are the cells? And there you have cells like macrophages and different cells. And one of the topic was cytokines as well. Okay, it was an easy question. Okay, 1 mark answer. You just need to write any of these lines, that will be absolutely fine. Okay, so cytokines are the small protein that are released by some cells of the immune system, especially innate immune system, which activates the cellular components of innate and specific immunity. More than enough, you can give examples. Okay, that's absolutely fine. Now, question number 2 of a set 1 basically, a set 3 basically. Okay, where it says write the dual purpose served by deoxyribonucleoside triphosphates. Okay, so if you remember, and if you have seen, this question has been asked not once but twice in last 5 years. Previous, it was asked in 2011 as well. Okay, so direct question, not even a single word is changed here. So what are the functions here? First, it helps in polymerization. Okay, like it helps in adding, the DNTPs add, if you remember, in replication and all. Okay, these things, AT, GC, these things add while polymerizing the DNA, new DNA when it's formed. Okay, and it also serves to give energy. So that's a 2 important point, dual purpose, that you have to talk about. I think most of you have done this question fantastically. Now the third question, which I was talking about, that this question, some questions are actually by line. It is there in NCRT. So when you open NCRT evolution chapter, go through the last paragraph of the human evolution. Okay, in that paragraph, from that paragraph, there's this question number 3. What it says, write the names of the following 15 MYI, that's million years ago, primate that was ape-like. Direct question from NCRT. You can either answer Dryopithecus, okay, or Ramapithecus. Fine. Any of the one is actually absolutely fine. Okay. Next. Okay. So in NCRT, it was not written 2, but it was written TWO. That's the difference here. If you'll see NCRT, that's written TWO2. Okay. And the right answer is Australopithecus. Direct NCRT question, not a problem here. Okay, now we'll move on to the next question, question number 4. Mention the chemical changes that proinsulin undergoes, okay, to be able to act as mature insulin. Biotechnology applications question, there was a diagram also there. You have to just cut the C, polypeptide chain, and that's the answer of this question. Fine, all right. Now, next. Question number 5. Very easy question. It is a general knowledge question. If I'll say it's now a general knowledge that Aedes mosquito. Okay, if you will control it, which 2 diseases will get eradicated? So you have dengue fever, you have chikungunya. You can also write yellow fever. So those who have written yellow fever as well, absolutely correct, not a problem. Okay, now so this was 5 question, 5 marks, and I believe if you have studied your NCRT, all will be yours. Okay, now let's move on to B section, right, everyone? So I'll just flip my paper, and here it is. Again, an NCRT question. Last chapter of NCRT. Okay, and it was a question from a paragraph. Okay, that says that how did a citizen group called Friends of Arcata Marsh, Arcata, California, USA, okay, help to improve water quality of the marshland using integrated wastewater treatment, explained in 4 steps, and those steps are actually given in NCRT. It's directly given in NCRT. There are 2 steps. You just have to make it 4. That's the only thing you need to do. Okay, and that's what we have done here. We have just divided these, these 1, 2, 3, and there's one more, 4th here. Okay, so the whole idea was they have taken the some 10 hectares of this land to purify and used algae, fungi, plantae, these microorganisms to actually treat wastewater. Okay, so there was a experimental paragraph given there. Okay, and direct question from there. Okay, that's not a problem. But yes, absolutely, those who have not studied NCRT, you will not find it anywhere. Okay, so that's a problem. But those who have studied it, got it. Okay, now 7th question. Your advisor sought to improve the nitrogen content of the soil to be used for cultivation of a non-leguminous terrestrial crop. Okay, Anushka, you're saying, sir, but sir, wouldn't Ramapithecus be wrong since it was man-like, not ape-like? So the statement of NCRT is primate. Okay, fine. It says primate, and primate can be ape-like, human-like. So because we have a single, descendants. Okay, so that's why it's absolutely correct. Fine, Anushka. Now let's move on to the next. So the question number 7. So it says non-leguminous terrestrial crop, right, guys? Non-leguminous. You won't write it rhizobium, because when you write rhizobium, there is one thing attached with it. It's leguminous, right? Exactly. So the 2, there can be many examples. Apart from leguminous, you can write nostoc, you can write enebena. That's absolutely fine. But the next B part, why do leguminous crops not require such enrichment of the soil? Absolutely very easy. So the 7th question was an easiest question for you. I'm moving on to the question number 8. Now this was a slightly I'll not say tricky, but it gives you some time to actually think about it. Good question. It says that you have obtained a high yielding variety of tomato. Okay, name and explain the procedure that ensures retention of the desired characteristics repeatedly in large population of future generations of the tomato crop. Now there's 2 things attached here. It is asking what procedure you will use. Okay, and given that the desired characteristics repeatedly in large population. So what you can do, you can use 2 processes here. Okay, if you have written these 2 processes, absolutely correct, or one of it also. First is you can use micropropagation like tissue culture, and the next thing you can actually go for inbreeding, because inbreeding will actually take care of your pure line. So your desired character. Why I'm talking about inbreeding also, because it is talking large population. We know that micropropagation is not very economical. Okay, so if you have written these 2 or either of them, I think you will get the marks. Okay, fine, all right. Now I'm moving ahead. And yes, these answers will be available just after the after your session, somewhere near about 6:30 or 7. Okay, so you can check your answers very easily there at meritnation.com. Right now, the next question, that is question number 9, it says that name the source of the plant of heroin drug. That's a very easy question, again NCERT. How it is obtained, you know very well, Papaver somniferum. Okay, and write the effects of the heroin of the human body. Previous question, NCERT question asked many times in our 100 questions also. These are all absolutely available, not a problem. The question which says here, that is question number 10. Maybe in other set there will be number will be different, but the sets are absolutely same. 1, 2, 3 sets are same, just a little intermingling of the question numbers. Now, with the help of an algebraic equation, how did Hardy-Weinberg explain that in a given population, the frequency of the occurrence of alleles of a gene is supposed to remain the same through generations? P square plus Q square plus 2PQ is equals to. That's the answer that you have to write here. But given that it was a 2 marks question, you have to just explain what is P, what is Q, what is 2PQ. Okay, and that you can explain easily. That's what the answer says here. Fine. All right. This is the equation, and you just have to explain that. Fine. All right. Now the next question is that although this is the OR question of question number 10. Although a prokaryotic cell has no defined nucleus, yet DNA is not scattered through the cell. Explain. Okay. Simple. It was a simple answer because yes, though it was prokaryotic, but still there is some DNA coiling available, though not with histones, but non-histone proteins. Okay, it is there. And that's why your DNA will not be scattered. Fine. All right. That's a simple question. You just have to explain according to the 2 marks. Section B over 2 marks. I think more than 70% or 80% of the questions are from NCERT or from previous year. So that's not a problem. It's an easy section. I can say that, apart from 6th question. Okay. Now section C, if you can see, I told you in my analysis, in my strategy video, that there will be one question always from homologous analogous organ, and the examples are also from your NCERT only. I don't think so. No one has any issue in answering this. I'll not explain. I'm not going to explain because you already know it. You have already written it. Now, the next question again, how was the use, or question number 12 I'm talking about, how has the use of Agrobacterium as vectors helped in controlling Meloidigina incognitia, okay, infestation in tobacco plants? Okay, explain in correct sequence. Okay, again, direct question. I have told you in the strategy session also that in some of the questions in biotechnology you make short notes. Okay, every procedure like RNA interference, this one, agrobacterium, BT cotton, okay, plasmid, all these things, make a short note, prepare it for 5 marks. Okay, and that's what happened here. 3 marks question came. So those who have prepared that accordingly, okay, I think you have written the right answer. Now question number 13. This is another question. This is the question that I was talking about, that it has also been asked in previous examination. Okay, but asked in slightly different way. So what it says, that question number 13, that India has a greater ecosystem diversity than Norway. Definitely. Okay. Do you agree with this statement? First of all, you need to say yes, we do agree. Okay. Because as we know that Norway is an Arctic region. Okay. Whereas we are in sub-equator region, right? So it is actually asking you from biodiversity point of view. Okay, and that's what it has written. It is correct that it is correct to state that India has a greater ecosystem diversity than Norway. The primary reason for the same is that India lies primarily in the tropical and subtropical zone, okay, near to the equator also, whereas Norway, okay, lies near the Arctic region. So it's very high temperature, and you know that if you talk about biodiversity, if you talk about biome also, okay, Arctic do not have such a great diversity. Okay. So all your rainfall, your temperature, all these things actually influences greater diversity in India rather than in Norway. So that you need to explain. So it has 2 parts. Okay. Next part B, write the difference between genetic biodiversity and species biodiversity that exists at all the levels of biological organization. Simple. Again, an NCERT question and a previous question asked many times. The next is OR. Explain the effect of characteristics of river when urban sewage is discharged into it. It is actually asking about BOD. So every question has an essence, right? Exactly. I always talk about that. You have to underline things. Okay, you have to underline your answer so that the person who is checking your paper, it will be easy for him or her to actually see the important points. And when you write BOD, okay, yes, it actually get into his eyes, and he understand that, he or she understand that, okay, fine, you have written the right answer. So that's the question about BOD. And if you have written BOD, how it increase, and how it affects the water bodies around, you will get the marks. Okay, now the next question is question number 14. Okay, a good question, because it asked you that explain the mechanism of sex determination in birds. Those who have studied, okay, sex determination, different sex determination apart from humans, they can answer it very well, because the difference between birds and human is that, because it asks the difference as well, that in humans we have homomorphic and heteromorphic, right? Hetero is male, homo is female, XX and XY, right? Whereas in birds, it's opposite. That's this thing you have to draw. And if you have drawn it, okay, perfect, 3 marks, yours. Okay, and this is a question which is slightly difficult. Okay, not asked many times. Okay, now question number 15. Question number 15. Simple lines. It has asked you that outcrossing, outbreeding, crossbreeding. These are the simple definitions you have to write, and I think no one has any issues writing these definitions. Question number 16, guys. Organic farmers prefer biological control of disease and pests to use the chemical for the same purpose. Again, previous year question, NCERT related question. There shouldn't be any issue writing this, so you can write as many as points you want to write. Next, give an example of a bacterium, a fungus, and an insect that are used as bio control agents. Again, very, very easy, not a problem. Now, as I told you, if you remember, bioreactor, you should learn the if you can, you should learn or practice the diagram of bioreactor. And that what happened here in question number 17. How has the development of bioreactor helped in biotechnology? Simple answer, that how it helped. Okay, and name the most commonly used bioreactor and describe its working. That you need to do. You have to describe it working. And if you if some of you have drawn its structure, its diagram, I think 3 marks will be yours. As I told you that writing these these or drawing these diagrams are somehow important to get an edge over others, and those who have drawn it, absolutely perfect for them. So that's the simple, and labeling was there. In my previous session also, I told you that restriction enzyme plasmids they are like quite common questions. Okay, and that what happened here, it came in question number 18. Now differentiate from reproduction, first chapter. Okay, differentiate between parthenocarpia and parthenogenesis. Simple, not a problem. Okay, I don't think so. No one has any issues between the two, because it was a 3 marks question. So we consider you must have written 5 to 6 point, or 4 to 6 points, depending upon how you can write, and give one example of each. One of the differences is example, and then you would have written at least. So might be your question that, sir, what happens if I've written only 3? See, what happens that it depends upon the answer that will CBSE will come out. But I'll suppose if you'll ask me, along with example, you should write at least 6 points. Okay, just you have to elaborate your answers. That's nothing else. Now, question number 20. Medically, it is advised to all young mothers to breastfeeding is the best for their newborn babies. Do you agree? It's a question from your disease chapter. Okay, because of antibodies and also. Okay, so you have to write that. Simple. Those who have studied, you know it. Now, draw a diagram of a mature human sperm. If you remember from the previous strategy videos, I have showed you the sperm diagram, and I told you that it is really important. I've showed you 10 diagrams. One of the diagram is here. Okay, including bioreactor also. So out of my 10 diagrams, 2 are there in this paper, so you can see it here. I talked about DNA fingerprinting, VNTR. That's your next question. Question number 22. Expand VNTR and describe its role in DNA fingerprinting. And I think that's a simple question. variable number of tendon repeats. Okay. And you have to talk about the role of DNA fingerprinting and list any two application of DNA finger technique. That's, I think, nowadays it is not a problem. Okay, now next question, section D, your value-based question. And I told you that this question always from either your ecology, pollution, and that what happened here, okay, or from your sex education or that thing. So this year it is pollution once again. It is asking, looking at the deteriorating air quality because of air pollution in many cities of the country, the citizens are very much worried and concerned about their health. The doctors have declared health emergency in the cities where the air quality is very severely poor. So that's the statement. Now the question asks here, mention any two major causes of air pollution. Is it difficult? I don't think so. So what we have tried to do here, that we have written many vehicular population suspended. Any two, you'll write and you'll get the answer. Okay. Next, write any two harmful effect of air pollution to plants and humans. That is written there. And as a captain of your school eco club, suggest. Now this is the question. This gives you 2 marks out of 4. 1 mark is mention any two major air pollution. 1 mark is for two harmful effect. But 2 marks will be there for this particular program. So what you can written, like for us, for an example, we have given as an example that organize a seminar for student, teachers, and parents to create awareness regarding the harmful effect of air pollution. That one program you can do. Next, organize a pollution-free week. Nowadays happening, okay, monthly in the school, where teachers and students will not use vehicles which run on fossil fuels and encourage them to use bicycles or carpool if possible. So these are the ideas. So any idea which is related to decrease air pollution, you'll write as a program, you'll get the marks, but you have to write 2. Okay, so that's not a problem. Somehow related to, and if you can elaborate it, that's well and good. Okay, and now we have come to the last section. That is section number E. That carries 5 marks. Now, write the scientific name of the organism of Thomas Hunt Morgan. Again, the previous question. Okay, from genetics, very simple. That's not a problem. Okay, explain the correlation between linkage and recombination with respect to genes as studied by them. You can write. You can write the cross as well. Okay, that is available. How did Stewart explain gene mapping while working with Morgan? I think yes. This you might have found slightly difficult, and that's why I think that most people have chose to answer the next part, that is, state the central dogma as proposed by Francis Crick, and are there any exceptions to it? Yes, basically the retrovirus, and support your answer with the reason with an example. Simple question, right? Exactly. So reverse transcription when happens, it is against the central dogma that was stated by Crick and Francis Crick. And explain how the biochemical characterization nature of transforming principle is determined, which was not determined from Griffith's experiment. Again, simple question. 5 marks. Your question number 25th. Now, this is a question which is from your ecology, the very first chapter, regulate, conform, migrate, suspend. Directly NCERT. Okay, and they have these solutions as well there. Okay, you can write the example that was there in the NCERT, not a problem. Next, a previous year question as well, that if 8 individuals in a population of 80 butterflies die. Now this is very easy. If you know the formula, you can add that death rate is the total number of death upon total population into 1,000. Okay, that's the formula that you need to remember, and that's it. That's the question. The OR question was, what is the trophic level in the whole 3 part? It has 3 part. What is trophic level? Standing crop. Okay, role of first trophic level, and how is detritus food chain connected to the grazing food chain? This is the new question. Okay, how it is connected. So if you remember, in a trophic level, okay, if you now the previous year, what happened, that they asked you what is the difference between a grazing food chain and a detritus food chain. Here they asked you what is the connection between the two. See, no, any ecosystem cannot work without decomposers, right? Absolutely. So what happens, the top level of grazing food chain will connect to the first level of your detritus, right? Because detritus starts with detritus food chain starts with detritus. Okay, the decomposed organic matter, where it comes from the top level or any level of the. So every level, whenever an organism die, it goes on the surface of the earth, then it is being treated or acted upon by microorganisms. Okay, so whenever it happens, it is going into detritus food chain. So what you need to do is that how they are connected. Yes, basically the top level is connected to the the very first level of the detritus food chain that you need to answer. And now we are into the last question. And this question again is a repeated question. Describe any two devices in the flowering plant which prevent both autogamy and geitonogamy. Okay, as I told you, pollination, there should be one question from there. And double fertilization, if you remember, and that's the next question. Okay. I told you that menstrual cycle, always there will be a question, and that happens here as well as an or question. And how can a scientific understanding of menstrual cycle of human females help in contraceptive measures? That is your human health question. So guys, I think this paper is meant for scoring 90, and I believe you can understand that how you should write the question, how should you and in which question, which type of or what type of answer you can write, in which question you need to draw a diagram, and what should be the correct statement, what should be the right keyword you need to write. Okay, so what I believe now, what happened, what done is done. Okay, enjoy your days. Those who are preparing for your NEET examination, once again, you need to do your best there. Okay, and I wish all of you from Merit Nation side a very, very best of luck. Hope to see you getting very awesome marks, pass with flying colors. Good night, everyone, and take care. Bye bye.